So for this video, I'm going to be using these products. This is my shadow insurance that I always use for my eye primer. Absolute must for monolids in my opinion, because if you don't have eyeshadow primer on your lids, I find that it gets oily very quickly and then my eyeshadow kind of disappears and then gets into the crease and then my eyeliner bleeds and it's not a good situation. So this keeps everything together. I use this every time I do eyeshadow. This little bottle has lasted me forever. I'm going to use my peach palette, which looks the same as any peach palette. And then I have the Dewy Set spray for when I'm done. And then to clean my brushes as we go, I have this Sephora Citrus Brush Cleaner. I also use this every time I use a brush, just to clean it off and make sure I got any excess product off so that the color and the pigments look better. And then for brushes, I have the Modern Renaissance brush, the one that comes with any palette. I actually use this a lot. It does shed quite a bit, but I like this one. I think it's pretty universal. And then I have a smaller, fluffier brush. And then for the cut crease, I have a very flat-headed brush, which is what you need to cut the crease. This one is actually from the drugstore from, where is this from? Real Techniques, and this is what I use to cut my lid every time. You want something really small and really flat. This will really help with cutting that crease. And then I also have this tighter, more compact brush. I like to use this to deepen the color on the outsides of my eyes. And then we don't need tweezers. I don't know why I put this with everything. And then lastly, I have my favorite eyeliner. I'm running out with both, which is why they're both here. It's the LA Splash Architect. I'll try to put all the links in the description below in case anyone's interested in any of these things. But yeah, my first makeup video. Let's try this out, see how it goes. I'm excited. Okay, we're already off to a bad start because I thought that I would have more time until the sunset, but apparently New York is really over the summer already, so let's see if I can do this in time. Yeah, I'm gonna film the intro at the end because I don't even know what I'm gonna say. So let me just start doing my makeup. Okay, so I'm hoping I can show you how I cut my crease. As you can see, they are very monolid. You can see how they're hooded. So I'm gonna show you how I make my eyes brighter and look bigger in photos by cutting my crease. Yeah. Okay, first I'm gonna put a tiny bit of Too Faced Shadow Insurance on my eyes. The primer helps everything stay together. By everything I mean it helps the eyeshadow not move, the eyeliner not smudge, and last you all day long. I actually never do my makeup without this primer because it helps the colors show up better, and it lasts, my makeup lasts much longer, and overall it just looks much better if I have primer on, so I never go without it. A tiny bit goes a long way. I just realized it must be hard to see how much is going on with the camera. So literally just like, can this focus? Hello? Maybe not. Hello? How do people do this? Yes. Okay, there we go. So just a little tiny bit. You could probably even use less, but I just like to be thorough. Now that I finally put on the eyeshadow primer, I'm going to quickly take my brushes and a paper towel. I just take one. You could even use like half a paper towel. You really don't need that much. So I like to first wipe off the remaining primer I have on my finger, just because, you know, I don't want it to get anywhere. But then I'm going to use the brush cleaner. I barely have any left. Can you hear this? I use this stuff so much. Also, I like the citrus one because it smells better than the regular brand. And then I literally pumped twice on my paper towel, and then I'm just going to rub in circles and clean it off. Literally so easy. You start where it's wet, start in circles, and then you move away from it so it dries. So easy. None of that soap nonsense. I mean, I do wash my brushes with soap from time to time, but we're in a hurry, and this is what I do whenever I do my makeup all the time. So now it's super clean. See? Great. So I'm gonna take my Modern Renaissance brush or the Anastasia brush. It comes with every palette, and my peach palette. It would have helped had I brought it here first. Okay, so I really like this pink color, so we're just gonna go in kind of aim for the center of the lid and then blend the edges out. So when you get closer to the inner eye, you're gonna want to blend it out, and then closer to the outer, you'll blend it out. So let me show you. What I do is I take a few gentle pats, and then I have about like this much. You can see it. And then I'm just gonna kind of do my thing. So when I apply eyeshadow, I also tend to use circular motions. So you can see the concentration of the color in the center, and then I'm trying to blend out the edges so it's not so rough. I know it looks like just like one, oh actually it doesn't look so bad on camera. I'm just gonna keep going with the other eye. If it looks weird on your face right now, trust in the process, don't worry, keep going, have confidence. I wonder if I'm too close to the camera. Is this gonna be like a montage of my face? Closer to the inner corner, I'm not doing any color because I'm gonna cut my crease anyway, so you don't have to go all the way in. Okay, so I have this pink color kind of in the center of my lids. Hopefully you can see it. What I want to do is I want to put a darker color kind of closer to my eyelashes on the outer side so that it kind of deepens, creates a 3D effect, because with monolids you don't get a lot of eyelashes generally, or like dark eyelashes. You don't get as much shape or dimension as you do in a non-monolid. So I'm gonna try to create that. So I'm gonna use this Summer Yum color, and I'm gonna again dab a tiny amount, and I'm using the Modern Renaissance brush, but honestly if you aren't, I would recommend using this brush. Actually I'll just use this one, okay, and show you. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go into Summer Yum, and then pat it here just a couple of times. There's like a little bit, I think you can kind of see there's like a little bit of color. So again, I'm gonna go, we want to really be precise with this, so we want to get, hopefully you can see, close to the, it's okay if it looks messy. It's almost like you're just kind of like dabbing it or writing it on there, because you'll take the fluffy brush and blend it out in a second. So just try to get the color there. So now that I kind of have the color there, do you see how messy it is? You can see like where it starts and where it ends. I don't know if closing my eye is easier to see. These are hard. I'm gonna take like a, you could take the Modern Renaissance brush again, honestly, after you wash it off or clean it off a little bit. But I'm gonna take this little fluffy brush that I got from my Ipsy bag. So it was less than $10 for 5 things. And then I'm just gonna kind of blend that out, but I'm not gonna blend it everywhere, just in that little area. So can you see the difference between this? It's hard to see. So this and this, it's very, because of the monolid, it's so hard to see. But if you look, there's just a bit more dimension to one than the other. So I'm gonna quickly copy this side, because again, we're running out of sun. But this shows that there's really not one way to do anything. So don't freak out if it doesn't look exactly the same or it doesn't come out exactly how you want it to, because sometimes You just need to take a step away and then it looks much better and you love it. But yes, I'm going to have to do a much more detailed monolid tutorial moment when I'm not competing for sun and apparently when I can talk and do this at the same time, because I'm really struggling with that right now. So as you need, you can apply some more on either end side. Try to get them to match somewhat. I'm sitting kind of weird. Oh, my hip. I'm a grandma now. Also, the higher you go on your eyelid, the cleaner you want the brush to be. Otherwise, that color will get way too high. Like, I just cleaned this off completely, like just on a dry, wet-ish paper towel, the same one. Been using the same paper towel the whole time. So the paper towel looks like this right now, by the way. But so it's really cleaned off, and I'm just wiping the top section so that it can kind of blend upwards. Okay, it's not that bad. Also, I'm breaking out a lot on this side, but that's an issue for another time. Okay, I'm gonna put more pink in closer to the corner of my eyes just so you can see the cut crease much more dramatically when I do it in the next step. So let me just apply some more pink. Okay, now that I have a lot of pink on my face, it looks kind of hectic if you don't wear that much eyeshadow, but it'll come together, hopefully. So I'm gonna clean off my flat brush. So for cutting your crease, I would really highly recommend a flat brush, and what I mean by that is the tip of this thing, it does not want to focus on this. Okay, well, I'll just take a video of it later. So you want this flat brush to cut your crease. It's small enough, it's flat enough to make it really easy. And I always use my Fenty foundation. This color is actually too pale for me now, but it's matte, which is the perfect thing to cut your crease with. I wouldn't recommend any creams or anything not matte, especially if you have monolids, because it'll smudge, it'll move, it's a mess. So I really like the Fenty foundation. I know this is really expensive, so if you don't normally use this foundation, you could get a sample from the store, or I need to think of alternatives. I'm just so used to using this one because I have it available. So okay, I pumped it on my hand, okay, but I only want a tiny bit of it. So let me wipe off the brush because I forgot to show it on camera. So this is one pump of the Fenty foundation. It's way too much, so I am just going to take a tiny, literally barely touch it, and you see how it gets wet here? Okay, so can you see this? Oh, I can't tell if it's blurry or clear. So basically I normally swipe a couple of times, so there's some product on the brush but not much. So again, if I just take a tiny bit, I dab at the foundation and then I swipe twice. That's about how much product I want. So after I've dabbed at the product and then I've swiped twice on my hand, I have a little bit of product left on the brush, and you always want to start lower than where you actually want it to be because it will end up higher, especially your first few times. So what I would do is I would look at your monolid and I would kind of mark as high as you want it to go. You do want it to see, when I open my eyes, you can see where it ends, right? So you want it to be slightly higher than where that line is, so your eye looks bigger. So let me show you where I would put mine. I'd probably put it about here, and again, you want it to be lower than where you actually want it. Like if I wanted it up higher, I would try to keep it as close to my eye as possible, because again, as you're blending it out, it might end up higher than you want it to. So if I do the same for the side and try to match it, so just a tiny bit, just to kind of mark where I want it to go. I would aim to have a fourth of your eye. So if you split your eye in fourths, try to aim for like a crescent moon type vibe to a fourth of your eye. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So I never start from the actual inner corner because there's too much product. So I start kind of from the center here and apply it, and then kind of move in both directions again. And then when I don't have much product left on the brush is when I do the actual inside and the actual outside of this. So I don't have that much on my brush right now, so I'm just gonna do the inner part. I like the look of it starting, you know, outside from here, but everyone's preference is different. Some people like it to hide within your monolid first over here and then show up here. This is kind of your discretion. And then once the brush is almost empty, you want to blend out the inner part. So just the center here, just a few swipes. You see how, oh my god, the camera was blurry the whole time. But when the brush is empty, you see how easily it blends and how much better it looks. You can really see the difference. So let me do it again on this side. Got a little product, swipe twice, marked it, and then starting from not all the way in the corner, so about here. Yeah, about there, and then just starting to dab. If the brush feels really wet, I'll just wipe excess off on my hand. You can never have too little, but you can have too much. Oh, if I look down, is that helpful? Maybe. Okay, so as you can tell, this one is a bit lower than this one, and there's less product, so I'm just gonna apply a little more to make the neat in. Also, obviously, I'm used to doing this, but it took me several tries in the beginning, and I think it looked better after I kept trying over and over time. So don't be discouraged if it doesn't look perfect the first time. But now that I've blended it out, it already looks pretty good. Like when I look at the camera, or when I look down, or when I look to the side, hopefully it's showing that the cut crease is kind of there. So now that the foundation is on, I like to clean off the brush and then use the same brush with a eyeshadow to go over it. If I leave it just like this, you should probably set it with like a matte eyeshadow powder, because sometimes, especially with monolids, you get some creasing and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna use Nectar, one of the brighter gold tones in this peach palette. You can already see how shiny it is. So I'm basically going over what I already just drew with the foundation, now with an eyeshadow. And again, as you get closer to each edge, you really want to blend it out. So I'm going to wipe off the brush again. I applied it to the center of the lid. Now I'm going to just blend out either end. And then do the same for the other side. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the crease. It's exactly the effect I want. It kind of looks crazy sometimes. You might not think it looks crazy on me right now, but I know that when I do my own makeup, I don't like my eyeshadow when I don't have liner on. So remember that if you're not feeling good about it, just keep waiting. We're not done yet. So my eyeliners are really sad. They're running out a lot, so just bear with me. Gonna put my liner on. Just literally running out. Okay, one. Okay, two. Oh, mascara. I need to mascara. So I'm gonna get mascara and okay, normally I use a different brush for my under eye, but since we're just really loving on the flat brush, I'm gonna use the flat brush and go in with the same pink I started with and then do some under eye. I'm obviously running out of sun, which is why I'm getting faster and faster. Also, you should not pull at your skin like I'm doing because that's gonna prematurely age you, but bad habits die hard. Okay. It looks like a lot on camera. I don't know how I feel about it. Normally I do a little less. Also, the beautiful thing is if you feel like you put too much, that's okay. The same paper towel, roll it around your finger, wipe some off, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna put some mascara on. Okay, and I am done. So that is how I cut. So I can't look at the camera and look away at the same time, so I don't even know what it looks like in the camera. But that's how I make my eyes look bigger. So I don't know if I'll actually end up posting this because I was in such a hurry, but I actually had a lot of fun. I think hurrying made it like force me to get to the point, so I kind of liked it. I don't know. I guess I'll see if the footage is viable, like if I can hear myself, because I felt like I was talking behind this mirror a lot, and then yeah, I don't know if I made any, like I was probably like cut off in some of the shots and everything, so I guess I'll try to edit it and see if I can make a video out of it, and then if I can, I'll totally post it. I don't think there's anything wrong with first draft. I would love to make something more in depth about how I do makeup on my monolids and all of that, so yeah. Okay, oh, I need to spray my face. So this is dewy set to make me look glowy even though the sun is about to set and I have nowhere to go. Oh, that was a lot. But it smells good. I feel good. It's gonna dry. Just awkwardly so long to dry. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, well I hope you learned something from this video, maybe, or you just enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around. I don't know if any of you made it this far, but I appreciate you if you did. And yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!